Hi, and welcome to NT 201 this term. This is the second course in a 3-course series, so you should have already taken NT 181 prior to coming into the second course in the series, NT 201, which is on Network Infrastructure Administration, and the focus is in a Windows Server environment. I just want to quickly go over the layout of the course. The course has recently been redesigned and updated, and so I want to point out a few things to you. You will notice some differences compared to what you got used to in NT 181, especially with the weekly assignments. First off, one thing, in NT 181 you had weekly quizzes. There are no weekly quizzes in NT 201 now, so you can kind of forget about having to do anything like that. In looking at your weekly assignments, I'm just going to open up the Unit 1 assignment and kind of use that as an example here. The assignment itself gives you some kind of general basic instructions up top, and it does note the administrator password for the servers in NetLab, and of course it mentions here that you'll complete all of your lab activities in the Unit 1 assignment in NetLab, and you'll want to make sure to use the lab documents that are provided for you. And the way you're documenting your work is through taking the required screenshots. So first off, the first link that we have here at the bottom of the Unit 1 assignment is NetLab instructions. So if you're not familiar with NetLab, be sure to take a look at that. But if you took NT 181 here at Herzing, then you're already familiar with NetLab, and you may have had NetLab in other courses as well. The primary documents that I want to point out here are these bottom two. The first one is the assignment directions, and this is the actual lab instructions for your assignment for the given week. And of course, again, we're looking at the Unit 1 assignment in week 1 here. You want to make sure you read through all these instructions carefully. Again, the administrator password is noted. You have some specific instructions to follow here, and you want to make sure that you're aware of this information, because it'll just kind of help you navigate and complete your work in NetLab. Okay, so the first activity for or in this initial assignment is on deploying a DHCP server role. And note here it mentions that activities 1, 2, 3, and 4 must be completed in one lab reservation. So you're using Windows Server 2019 this term, and this document just gives you the step-by-step instructions on how to complete the lab. And so you start out by logging into server DM1, and you go to the server manage, click on manage, add roles and features, and you just continue on following the instructions here. And as you complete each step and you continue working your way through the lab instructions, at any point where you come to a highlighted section like this, a highlighted number like this, or step, this is where, highlighted in yellow, I guess I should specify, this is where you're going to be getting a screenshot. And so this tells you that you need to get a screenshot of the server manager displaying the DHCP role. And then right below that, you're going to be given a screenshot similar to what you need to get. And notice a couple of things about this. Notice one, I can see the DHCP role here as specified, and that's mainly what I'm looking at when deciding whether or not you get credit for this screenshot, or how much credit if it's partial credit. In this instance, that's what I'm looking for, is to see that DHCP has been installed. And by seeing it here on the left-hand side of the Server Manager, I know that you successfully installed it. Now there are, well, I guess there's one other very important piece of information here that needs to be included in each of your screenshots, and that is your reservation number. If I cannot see your reservation number, then I cannot give you credit for your screenshot. The reason for that is somebody could just come into this document here and screenshot this document and leave out this top part here, and turn that in as, in their document as if they had completed the work. So I need to be able to see your lab reservation. By being able to see your lab reservation number, I will know that, first off, that you did this yourself, because your lab reservation number would be specific to you and you only. And then I would also know that no one had copied an image from another document or something. So again, in each screenshot, those are the two key pieces of information I'm going to be looking for. Number one, are you showing what you were asked to show? And here it said get a screenshot of the Server Manager displaying this DHCP role. And then the second piece is your reservation number. That reservation number, again, needs to be visible in all of your screenshots in order to get credit. So you'll just keep scrolling through this document and continuing to complete this lab activity step by step. Notice here, this is our second screenshot, and it says to get a screenshot of the summary page for the DHCP post-install configuration wizard, displaying the status of the post-install configuration steps. And if we scroll down, we'll see what that should look like. And this is exactly what your screenshot should look like. In order to get credit for the screenshot, your screenshot needs to look like this, and your lab reservation number needs to be visible. Okay, so you'll just keep going through the document, and it's just the same thing. As you complete steps, at some point, or at various points throughout the lab instructions, you'll run into the yellow highlighting where you're required to get a screenshot. There'll always be an example of the screenshot you're supposed to get, showing you exactly what your screenshot should look like. And so you just progress until you get to the end of the lab document. Now, the second document that is in the Unit 1 assignment, titled Unit 1 Assignment Student Doc, this is a Word document, and you should be using this document to paste your screenshots into. And then you'll save this document when you're done with the labs and upload this document to Canvas for your assignment submission. So notice here are the screenshots. We looked at the first couple of them, and in the lab instruction document, you remember we saw this one about getting a screenshot of the DHCP role, and then about getting a screenshot of the summary page of the post-install configuration wizard. And then as you go through the document, these are the remaining screenshots that are required. So what you will want to do is each time you're starting on an assignment, you want to open up this lab worksheet, save it to your computer, and then as you progress through the activities, just paste your screenshot in the appropriate section. So in order to get the screenshot for this first one here, what you would want to do is click at the end of the sentence, hit enter, and then paste your screenshot right here. So and then when you get to the next part where you need to get a screenshot, again go to the end of the sentence, hit enter, and then right click and paste to paste your screenshot in. So always your screenshot should be directly underneath what it is you were supposed to get a screenshot of. Okay, so by the time you're done with this assignment, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, let's see, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold on, let's see. I'm sorry. These are not, let's see, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, 8, because you're getting the output of these commands, 9, 10, 11. So there are a total of 11 screenshots required for this first assignment. Okay, and every assignment in the course is laid out like that as far as the lab assignments go. And so you have one on DHCP in Unit 1, then DNS in Unit 2, IP address management in Unit 3, remote access in Unit 4, MPS, network policy server, in Unit 5, branch cache in Unit 6, and then you actually have a project for Unit 7 that'll wrap all of these together. So that's really all that you need to know about those. Each week, except for week 7, you also have a class project that you'll be working on, and basically what you'll do, you'll come in here, just glance over these instructions, and essentially this is just a project that is related to what you've learned about this week. So first of all, you'll want to download the instructions here. And these are the instructions for the Unit 1 project, and so you'll want to read through all of this and then just complete the requirements for the project. So one of the first things that you'll do is after looking over these requirements, the first thing you'll do is download and install VMware Workstation Pro 16. And notice that you have links to sites in order to be able to access everything that you need here, plus some videos to help you with this part of the project. Notice here is your first screenshot requirement, and this is what your screenshot should look like. So laid out similar to the previous assessments that we were looking at before. Here's the second part of this project, and so you just go through and complete that. Here's the screenshot that's required for that, and here's the example of it. Third part of this project is here. Again, just follow the steps. There's in each section there's always a video to help you out. If you need help with something that you are required to do in that section of the project. And then again, here is a screenshot requirement for actually 2 screenshot requirements for part 3. And then here's part 4 of the project. Again, you just continue through, get your screenshots that you need, and that's the end of the project. So if we close this document, the second document that's attached to the project, just like in the other style assignment that we were looking at previously, this is the document that you'll use for your screenshots. So in this first project in Unit 1, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 screenshots. Unless you're able to get all of these into one screenshot, then that's fine. But these are the screenshot requirements, so you'll use this document when you're completing your project, and you'll just paste your screenshots into the appropriate section of this document. Okay, so that really is pretty much it. Each week you're going to want to go through the module for the week. Of course, this week, week 1, you'll start out with the introductory module, then you'll move on to Unit 1. And so again, each week you'll want to progress your way through the modules. And of course, outside of the assessment and the project each week. You have your weekly discussion, which requires an initial post where you do some research, and then at least 2 secondary posts where you're responding to someone else's post. And that's what you have each week. Again, there is no project for week 7, but you, as far as these projects here, there is a final assessment, and it does call it a project here, but it's really related to these assignments that you've done up here, where you'll kind of bring everything together that you learned throughout the term. So again, that is pretty much it. You'll complete the labs in NetLab. Like you did in NT 181, the biggest difference here is that your lab instructions are on Canvas in the assignment itself, whereas in NT 181, if you recall, you were completing the lab activities that were in the textbook. Again, that is not the case for this course. However, if we take a look at the syllabus for the course, this will give you some information overall about the course, and one of the main things that I want to point out is that this will highlight your learning resources, and notice the textbook that is used for this course is the Hands-on Microsoft Windows Server, and Microsoft Hands-on Windows Server, sorry. So again, this is mentioned in your modules. You'll see your weekly reading assignments there. If we go to the introduction, go on to the next slide. Here's your first reading assignment, read chapter 1. And this is actually in the Illustrated Network. And here's a link to that. And then on the next page, here's where you're reading a couple additional chapters in that textbook. And then finally, here is the configuring and managing network services, from Module 8, and that's coming from your Hands-on Microsoft Windows Server textbook. This you'll need to access through VitalSource. Of course, you'll get your access by completing your bookstore order at the beginning of the term, and so this is actually the first reading assignment in the main textbook for the course. So anyway, I think that's pretty much all I needed to go over here. If you have any questions now or throughout the term, please don't hesitate to reach out.